Hi there, so I am going to be showing you how to start making a boom deck. So once you get an account, you can just get a free account, although if you're going to get a free account, I'm pretty sure you can only make 5 decks. So that's something to keep in mind. But you can collect as many decks as you want with a free account. You just can't make more than 5. You're going to open up your studio. So you can see right here is my studio. And then you're going to click down here on the Make Decks right there. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click on New Deck up here. So what this is going to give me is 2 things. The first thing is that it's going to give me a template card, which is kind of awesome for setting up kind of what you want as your norm. And then you can start seeing your cards down here on the side. So on my template card, I'm going to decide to put some text because I want to set up the size and the font that are going to be on all my cards. And I've already planned ahead of time that what I'm going to be doing here is a letter R deck for kids working on, let's say, pre-vocalic R. So I'm going to pull this text right down here, and I'm going to click to edit, and I'm just going to say that my very first word is run. Okay, and this is just your template, so it doesn't matter. And I'm making it bigger, and then this is a really small font, so I'm going to go up here to size, and I'm going to make it 64. I'm going to center it right here. I'm going to move up to the top, and then you have a couple options here for making it look a little better because I'm very sensitive to things being not centered. You can click on this grid lines, which is really helpful, and they don't show up in your deck. They're just to help you create and center from there. Or another even better option is over here on the side where it says center. You can click on that and then center it horizontally. I usually don't bother with centering vertically. And now I'm like, okay, so this is actually a really good font. I like this font, but it's not my favorite font. So I'm going to go over here to fonts, and I'm going to see what are my different options for fonts, and then I'm going to choose from the ones on here. Now I'm not sure what will be on yours. I think that the ones on mine are there because they're already on my computer. So that's just something to know in case you're like, oh, how come I don't have very many choices of fonts? Okay, and now for now, I want to have an actual picture. So I am going to find some pictures. Now, unless you're going to sell this, you can use any picture you want. I mean, honestly, let's be real here. Unless the only people who are going to see this are your students, it doesn't matter if you're just screenshotting from the web. One place that's great to get some photos, though, if you are wanting to get something that's not just a screenshot from the web, is the nounproject.com. And it is free, except that if you were to sell it, you'd have to attribute all the authors, so all the creators. So I have a subscription, but you don't need one. So remember I said we were going to do pre-vocalic R. So the first word I'm going to look up is run. So I'm going to find my word run, and then let's say I like that one. I'm going to download it as a PNG, a ping is what I call it. And then it's down here in wherever you download your things, because everyone downloads somewhere different. And then I'm going to look up some other words while I'm in here. I'm going to look up rake. And I'll do, you know what, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to download 5 things so I can show you how to import them into your boom cards. Rake, and then I'm going to do rain. I'll do that one. We're going to download the ping. Let's do right. That one's pretty good. And the other thing I like about the Noun Project is that it's not too kiddie. So if you're working with older students who are kind of insulted by the cute clip art, they might do better with this kind of clip art. So I end up doing this in a lot of my instructions, is using Noun Project. And then let's do a ring for our 5th one. Let's do that one. Download it. Okay, so let's go back to our boom cards. We have our run, and now we want to put that image in. So we're going to go right to the side where it says image. we're going to pull it over, and it's going to show you the images that you already have. But you're like, I don't have this image, or you might have 0 in there, in which case you can go to upload and then go to wherever your things are downloaded. And now, I sometimes have trouble with this, I'm just going to be honest, but in theory, you can upload all of these pictures at the same time, and it will save you a few minutes later. So I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to go upload. Oh, good, it worked. Woohoo! Now I'm going to click on my run that I want here. And then it will resize it and drive you crazy, and then you'll go back and you'll do. Okay, so there what we just did is we actually made our template card, and card 1 is the same as our template. And it doesn't have to be, but it works well in this case. So here's our card 1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the side and, oops, I shouldn't have got rid of that pencil. And I'm going to clone our card 1, because then I don't have to worry about size, font, anything like that. So I'm going to click clone. Oops, sorry, I wasn't clicked on it. I got to click on it so it's red, and then I'm going to hit clone. And now I have 2 runs. Well, I don't need 2 runs, right? So the next card is going to be ring. And now get this. It took me a while to learn this. I can double click on the image there, and then it'll take me straight to my other images that I've already uploaded, and I have my ring. And then I can clone that card. And what am I going to do next? I'll do rain. Then I'll change my title. And then I will clone that card. And I will do right. And then I will clone that card. And I will do break. Okay, just a few more things. We're going to go up to the top where it says details, because that is where you can name it so that you can find it again later. So you're going to click details, and right now it's called an untitled deck, and you're going to want to give it a name. Initial R sounds. And if it's just for you, you don't have to do anything in here. If you plan on sharing it with others, you might want to put more information in there. Right now, what's checked is randomized cards, which is kind of a cool feature, and I'm going to show you what that means. But you can have randomized cards, or you can change it to Flow Magic, but I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. So now you've got 5 cards, and you could share them with a student using what we call preview. So you can see here, you go, okay, Johnny, we're going to practice our initial R's. Ready? What's our first card? Run. Woohoo, great job. And then I'm going to click next. And then it comes up with a ring, rain, right, rake. And then we've hit the end of our deck. Wow, woohoo. So the way that I'm most familiar with for using this during distance learning is to literally share my screen and do this with the kids right there. There are ways to use it from your library and assign it to them. I'm still figuring that out, so I'm not going to be a great resource for you on that one. But it has to do with going after you have it in your library. And that one didn't go to the library, so I'll have to figure that out. But you would go to Actions. FastPin is a great way to do it. I know how to use that. So FastPin, it gives you a link, and then you can literally cut and paste that link and give it to your kids. But just so you know, that link is only good for 8 days. So if you give it to your students, in 8 days, that link will not work anymore. So it's perfect if you're like, this week your homework is to blank, but it's not good for, this is my resource of things to do. If you want to actually assign it to a student, you'd have to go to Actions, and then go to Assign, and then you have to have kids already in your classroom, and there's quite a few steps, so I'm not really there yet. So just so you know about that. But the one thing I thought, like I said before, I thought that this was in my library already, and it's not. So that means, oh, it's because I need to do this. I need to click Private Publish. Once I hit Private Publish, I should be able to see it in my store. Also, I want to give it a cover image because at least for me, that makes it so much easier for me to find things. So I'm going to give it the cover image of my run because that's going to help me find it again later. So let's just make sure that worked. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go to my library. In my library are things that I've created and things that I have bought or gotten for free. And hooray, it's right there. It's in my library. So now I can share that FastPin with kids or figure out how to make a classroom and assign it to them as well. Hope that that is helpful for an introduction to boom cards.